We might all be rich, who knows? The market spooked, the numbers jump, but jump done got me looped. I buy that dip, who knows? I die tomorrow. I'll be rich, who knows? By tomorrow, we might all be rich, We could all be rich, all be rich.
Out of cold, my wallet's full, this data's flowing and breaking through. Warming up while climbing to the top, man, read the room, the way it's climbing on my watch. I clock these numbers like they stock, I'm taking left right after loss, or why they nap, I'm chopping blockchains in half. Thank God we back to back, doubled up, I tripled up, plebs got me tenfold in my bag. Backs come through directly, move this chest piece, couple wrists, be careful when we click. I took that shot, don't shoot no brick, the market spooked. The numbers jump, but jump done got me loot. I buy that dip, who knows, all by tomorrow, we might all be rich.
Who knows, I die tomorrow,
we can all be rich, we can all be rich.
Who knows? By tomorrow, we might all be rich,
We can all be rich, all be rich.
What is up, guys? Welcome back to the Crypto Plebs channel. It's your boy Jumpman Crypto on a Friday. I hope everybody's doing great. Today we're going to talk about some crypto. The markets have been dumping. Everybody's saying the cycle's over with. There's fear and panic in the streets. And right now we're just trying to see what's next. I got my crime partner over here chilling with me. You want to say hi to everybody?
Hello. Bye.
Guys, look, we have a lot to talk about, and you know, it's really serious. You know, look, right now we are in a situation where, you know, we are at some critical levels of support with Bitcoin. You know, and I don't want to be jumping on this, you know, the cycle's over bandwagon, you know, like everybody else. But look, at the end of the day, we got to be real. You know, we've had a pretty massive dump down. You know, is it like all the other dumps that we've had previously, 30%? No. But the thing is that we have a lot of uncertainty in the market. And we've talked about this many times over and over, guys. Every time there's uncertainty in this market, it causes a lot of fear and panic. And, you know, these things don't mix well in, you know, in crypto. The one thing that I can say, guys, is that if this was any other typical cycle, this cycle would have been over a long time ago. So I do think that we do have some things that are going in our favor, but at the end of the day, guys, there's only a few things that really matter. And these crucial levels of support and a few indicators that I'm gonna show you guys in this live stream today are gonna be things that you guys need to make sure that you're keeping an eye on. That way you're not relying on every different YouTuber that's on YouTube. Everybody has opinions. I have an opinion that cryptos are us. Everybody else, shout out to him, by the way. Everybody has their own opinions in this market. And at the end of the day, everybody's wrong. Nobody knows what's going to happen. I don't even know what's going to happen. So, you know, I think the best thing that people can do right now is have a strategy. A person that does not have a strategy in this market is setting themselves up for a lot of pain and a lot of, you know, a lot of things that could happen to you financially. So it's better to be just informed. Make sure you're ready, guys. And, you know, we go from there. So with that being said, guys, let's say what's up to the chat. Hayden, what's up? Navi, what's up? Steven Ortiz, Han Solo, what's up? My GP, what's up? Patriots, Steven Ortiz again. Pieco, I haven't heard from you in a long time. You doing okay, brother? Carl Fox, what's up, my brother? Arthur, Cyrix, LTGG420, if that's you, Market Hawk, what's up, my bro? How are you guys doing right now? I know a lot of people are kind of, you know, concerned about the cycle, you know, and, you know, look, man, I took a pretty nasty beating. I think we can all kind of agree that this leverage thing is getting a little bit out of hand. Luis Martinez, what's up, Toby? How you doing, brother? I'm going to come visit you over there in the A, man. The leverage thing is getting out of hand, guys. You know, I've been trying to like not go so hard in the paint on leveraging. You know, right now I'm just going to take a little bit of a backseat. I think we need to kind of find out, you know, what's going to happen. If I get some confirmation that the markets are going to try to go back up, we'll hop in some trades. But right now we're just chilling, guys. I don't feel comfortable, you know, trying to continue to guess what's going to happen with the market. And, you know, look, we have to be safe. We have to take care of ourselves. We got to take care of our communities. So, you know, let's just make sure we're not giving these exchanges our money. Hayden Pedro says, been sick, but recovering, working the Cardinals game this week. Oh, man, that's sick. Are you a Cardinals fan? Hope you're better, bro. Yeah, we got about 20 people in here, man. That's pretty good. Hey, judging for how the markets are right now, I'm really happy that there's 20 people tuned in. Thank you, guys. Usually, a lot of times, people tune in a little bit later, so, you know, I'm just happy to have people on here to talk to, man. At the end of the day, you know, the markets have been pretty crappy. I've seen a lot of YouTubers out here, man. They're doing their live streams, and sometimes they're not even getting any views, and you know, it's very sad. You know, you know, every time that I see friends or anything like that going live, and I see that their lives aren't doing too good, you know, we hop in there, show support, man. You know, and I appreciate you guys doing that for me. You know, we always try to keep it 100 in there, so you know, it is what it is. All right, so let's get to work, guys. Time to look at these charts. It's time to see what the damage is. We need to see what's going on with crypto. You know, I was talking to my group. You know, I even shared this in the KGU. I shared this indicator with you guys, and I'm gonna get it pulled up real quick, and we're gonna go through it together as a familia. And this right here, we need to go inside, and you need to type in moving average exponential. Make sure you star this sucker, okay? It's very important that the things that I give you guys, you know, you need to please save it, put it in your little arsenal toolkit, and hold on to it tightly, because these are things that I use. I've seen a lot of the best use this one, and this is right here is going to tell you if we are in danger. All right, so we gave out some good short calls in my Discord. They were short in Bitcoin. I took a short as well. I didn't make as much money as my boy Jacob and Iggy and a few others in there, but they were able to, you know, obviously make some good money. And at the end of the day, that's all I care about. As long as I'm providing value to, you know, you guys, that's all I care about. But I knew that we were in trouble as soon as I saw back a couple days ago. I was even telling my wife that, hey, we were looking through this, and I was explaining to her, you know, a rising wedge. But not only that, I saw just a few things like on Market Cipher, B, red dot, money flow not looking really nice. And I was starting to begin to think like, you know what, I think this is going to be bad. Sure enough, you know, I was looking at the EMA ribbons. I started to see a lot of, you know, I started seeing some constrictions up in here. But then I started to see like, you know, we were getting divergences. And that's when, like I said, the indicator popped up here, the rising wedge. These don't always play out, but I saw it. And the more and more, you know, through the week, I started seeing, you know, trade talks and stuff like that. Things started to actually fall in place, in line. And then I began to start thinking like, you know what, this is really going to play out. And I gave the warning out to my group. I was like, look, guys, if we start dipping below, you know, 110, I think that we're going to go ahead and come down to 108. And sure enough, we did. Then the next level was 105 and such. And then I think we even came down here briefly. We touched, you know, I think 103, something like that a couple days ago. So, you know, it was a good opportunity. We made some good money off it, you know. Again, my boys, they made more money than I, but it's all good. At the end of the day, as long as you know, the family's eating, that's all that matters. But we're not talking about that right now. We're talking about the importance of closing below this red band right here. Now, a lot of people have opinions about if we're going to go into a bear market. You know, Jump said this, another guy says this. But at the end of the day, guys, the only thing that matters is facts. Pull up the weekly, type in the indicator that I gave you, exit out anything else. We don't need to look at anything else. I don't care about nothing else. All I care about is just facts. Okay? When we start going below this indicator right here, that is trouble. Okay, now we can go all the way back here and we can kind of pinpoint back in you know, specific years of when this happened, but right now I only really care about what happened in 2020 and 2021. So right here around this time, we had this dip right here, okay? This showed us that we had a little bit of a momentarily of a small, I guess you want to call this a little small bear market from here, around February, all the way until April, okay? And then the next time we had one was back over here around April, around 2022. This is around where the FTX, COVID, around all that stuff like that, this area, but this was mainly more of the FTX. Now, this right here was a lengthy bear market. This is when we had the whole FTX crash. You know, the banks were debanking crypto platforms and stuff like that. This was a massive one. So you see, this was back when, you know, Trump was leaving office over here, beginning of the term, I think, of Biden or whatever. This right here was, I think, getting closer to COVID around this area. I think I'll need a back test, but I really don't care about this. What I care about is this one right here and this one, because we all know what this one was right here. And this was almost, what, from 2022, about almost a year and a half of a bear market. Now, people are like freaking out, losing their minds and being impatient over like, what, 10 months? Imagine holding this damn long through this. Your boy was in this, okay? I remember when I bought some Bitcoin, because, you know, look, this was the first cycle that I actually bought Bitcoin back in 2022. That's when I first bought Bitcoin, all right? All the other times I was in altcoins, but this was the first time that I actually bought into Bitcoin. I got in and I pretty much 2x. Then, you know, we had that run up to 48K, and ever since then we just got decimated. We came all the way back down here to 16K. I started loading up. But then we would get these pumps down here to 20K, 30K, and then come right back down. It was so annoying, guys. I can tell you that this was probably, if you guys are frustrated with what's going on right now, back in 2023, that was just absolute hell. And then the beginning of 2024, when we had the ETFs, you know, we finally got the ETFs, you know, we were like, okay, man, Bitcoin's gonna get the institutional adoption. We're going to the moon. Soon as the ETFs went live, everything crashed to hell. I was sitting there like, what in the heck is going on? I think everybody in crypto YouTube was not expecting that. And that's when I think everything changed. Now we are in Wall Street land. Bitcoin now belongs to Wall Street. So now we play by their rules, by their game. The 4-year cycle could be dead. I don't know. I'm not that type of a smart, I'm not that smart, guys. Look, at the end of the day, I know some of you guys give me a lot more credit than I deserve, but at the end of the day, guys, look, some of the greatest things that I've ever accomplished was just from me buying and holding. And, you know, I've had some pretty good trades, but a lot of the success that I've had was just holding through all this turmoil down here. Now, we are here now, guys, and I'm not sure we're going to dip below here, but this will be our true test. If we go down here at lower time frames, we've already broken below. Way past this already. You know, if you're looking at the 2 hour, the 1 hour, the 30-minute time frame, you know, we're in certain areas we're starting to climb back, but from medium time frames, we've already broken below the EMA ribbons. But the only thing we really care about right now is the weekly. So on the weekly, if we come down here to this red band, okay, and this is going to be around 98K. If we close 2 consecutive weeks below 98K, we would have to come to the conclusion that the cycle could be finished. Now, like I said, at the end of the day, guys, look, I could be wrong, okay? And I hope to be wrong. I'm not saying that I'm right. You know, at the end of the day, guys, like I said, opinions are like buttholes. Everybody has them. But we just got to kind of go off facts. We go back down here, you know, there was all kinds of adoption here as well. You know, we had, you know, a lot of partnerships, and you know, you can't sit there and say that there's not big banks and stuff like that in crypto as well, okay? And we all saw last Friday how fast things can go to zero really quickly. So please don't get fooled by these ETFs. Don't get fooled by all this TradFi nonsense, guys. You know, they showed you last week how fast the show can end. You know, I talked with my group about, you know, XRP, oh, it's the future. This coin's the future. This coin's the future. This coin, look, that doesn't matter, guys. When it's over, it's over. There should be no coins that are held long term other than Bitcoin. And even at that, Bitcoin could come down 50 to 60% if there's some type of World War III, if there's some type of, something fundamentally wrong with the markets. Believe it. I know people want to be naive and they want to think that, that it can't happen. And trust me, I've said this on numerous occasions, even to my group. There's no way that CDIS could come down this low. There's no way that this could happen. But it always happens, guys. And the best thing to do right now is to be prepared. And I gave you one of the best indicators that you guys can use for yourself to see and check to see if we get down to these levels. Now, I've seen a lot of people say, 88K. There's all different kinds of numbers being thrown out right now, guys. Look, at the end of the day, typically on bear markets, Bitcoin will correct anywhere between 50 to 70%. So if we're talking about 70% down from its all-time high, we would have to at least say that we would probably come down anywhere between, if we're going 50%, this would be about 63,000. If we're going to go a traditional 70%, this would be about 40K. Me personally, I think that, I'm going to put my money where my mouth is and say, look, I believe that if we do go down, 79K to 80K would be our bear market low, which is still crazy. That's crazy. At the end of the day, guys, it was 16,000. It had a nice run up. And the thought of it still being in the bear market at 88K, that's still out of reach for pretty much 90% of all Americans, especially in today's, economic conditions. That's just crazy. Okay, so, and let's be real. Most of you guys don't hold Bitcoin. You guys hold all altcoins, and that really doesn't really matter to you guys, but it does. Because if Bitcoin goes down 70%, can you just imagine what would happen to your altcoins? They would be completely destroyed. So, look, my thing is look, these price predictions and stuff like that, they're all for the birds. I like to go things off of look, if we break 102, we set up alerts for 98K. 98K doesn't hold, then what's the next area of support? You guys have been tuning in with me, and you guys are part of the KGU Doctrine channel, or you guys are rocking with me in Plebs. You guys know we use the order and breaker blocks, and we have our own little set of tools that we use to find out where support and resistance is at. And does it work all the time? No. But it gives you an edge better than just somebody that's just blindly buying and waiting for, to get little nuggets on YouTube from different influencers. So at the end of the day, it's just giving you a little bit more of confluence and a little bit more reassurance, guys, that, it's giving you power and giving you the ability to do the work on your own and help you be self-sufficient in this market. Because look, one thing that I tell my guys, and one thing that I want everybody that encounters me, is I want everybody to have the tools that they need to be successful. I don't want nobody leaving my Discord or even being in KGU not knowing how to take care of themselves. And I think if anything, like I said, this whole week, these last 2 weeks have taught us a lot of major lessons about not being sucked into, the influencers bull crap. Oh, this coin's gonna go to do a 10x. This coin's gonna do that. This coin's gonna do this. And hey, I'm even guilty of it too, guys. I'm not perfect. I've gave some predictions out that have not came to be. I'm not perfect. But, look, at the end of the day, guys, we've had a solid run. We've had a lot of great plays. But let's just be honest. I think a lot of times people didn't manage their risk correctly. They went too hard on something, or they went too much leverage on something. And unfortunately, we all fell victim to this on Friday. And look, what's my honest thoughts? I'll be honest with you guys. Right now, I'm kind of sitting on a 60-40. 60% that it could be over, 40% that we still have a chance to run up. Now, some people are like, man, dude, that's super bearish. Well, understand this, that, I go off of what we've already accomplished. For somebody that's never seen a bull market or a bear market before, they may not understand what I'm saying. But, when you see Bitcoin go from 16,000 all the way to almost 130, for me, that is almost a 10x. Bitcoin's done great. Now, the only thing, like I said, that we have to take into consideration is that the M2 money supply, we have not had, real global money inflows of big cash. There's a lot of money still sitting on the sidelines. We have, things like BlackRock and all these other big institutions that have almost limitless amounts of money. So, like I said, again, guys, if this was another cycle, if this was maybe even a different president, I would give this 100% that the cycle's over with. So, look, say what you want to say about Trump. I get it. I don't want to get political on here, but Trump is definitely going to pump his bags, and I don't think anybody's happy with a 40% return. So I think that, look, we're due for one last mega pump, and it may even go into 2026. Who knows? Who knows? Who knows? But I think at the end of the day, guys, look, when we get there, are you going to sell from where you've been at? Do you have the knowledge now to say, hey, I've already seen these dumps. It's happened a lot of times over. I've been caught with my pants down. Am I going to make the right choices? So at the end of the day, guys, all I can do is just be in your corner, go live when I can, show support, show love. But at the end of the day, guys, it's all up to you. It's all up to you guys. And I want to be there with you all the step of the way and help you guys. So let's get in some coins, guys. Throw me some coins out. Let's cover some of these cryptocurrencies and let's get to work, man. Let's see. Justin Russell says, "Pow in here, oh Lord." There went 100,000. Jerome Powell's in the building. No rate cuts for the rest of the year. Come on, Jerome. Don't be like that, baby. Jerome Powell just subbed to the channel, guys. That is crazy. Jerome Powell just subscribed to Crypto Plebs. Jerome, how about this, man? How about I make you a moderator to the Crypto Plebs channel? We'll give you the highest role here if you just cut rates, give us a little bit of insider information, and, I'll go on a date with you, Mr. Jerome. Just playing, man. My old lady, she's going to come in here and beat me up. AJB says Litecoin, and then we have Same Parcels, Solana. All right, guys, let's cover Sol real quick. Sol is the one that is had some pretty good news today. I think we got some ETF confirmations. And, I don't think the price pumped up at all. But will it? I think it will, guys. But we just got to be patient. The price is at 183. Looking still good in my opinion. I mean, at the end of the day, guys, Solana's been one of the few coins that have actually held its ground. You guys know how I do it. We use the little popping lines and stuff like that. And we have this double bottom over here around this 177, 174. I'm not going to get too super technical in here, guys. We like to save that in for the Discord. We go live privately in there, and we do, all that in there. And we also do that in the Doctrine tier in KGU. But we just do a little bit of basic TA in here, guys. Pop the little trend line right here. We got 175.78. So we're a couple dollars short from it. Look, where do you want it to come down here, guys? We can come back down here to even 157, 155. For me, that's a great buy. Look, for the people that are freaking out, man, look, April, we're at $94 on Solana. We're not nowhere near that, guys. Look, if we're really going back to where we were back in April, man, look how far up. We are still in an uptrend, dude. Now, do all altcoins look like this? Absolutely not. AVAX and a lot of these other altcoins look horrendous. AVAX is really upsetting me really bad and making me look really bad, but Solana's actually doing well. So if you hold Solana, shout out to you. I took a position on Solana today. I had some things that I have not been really doing too well. If you guys want to know those coins, you can hop in the Discord. We'll share those with you. But I started moving some coins into Solana because My thesis behind it that it has a lot of bullish stuff coming up right now. So it makes sense to maybe move laggers into ones that maybe potentially will move a little bit quicker. So hopefully that plays out for me. If not, then, I'll have to take the L. But for right now, that's just the way I'm going to play it. So I moved some of these laggers in Solana. And, where am I going to take it to? Well, we popped that fib. We're going to run it from the swing high to the swing low. I might run it back up here to maybe 233 and maybe even try to come back here to 250. But I'm more interested in maybe just getting, back to the 220 to 230. I think this might be around, 30-40%. Nice. I'm no longer interested in getting like 2X's, man. I'm trying to get quick money. Get in and get out. Get in and get out. And if, like I said, if Solana can come back down here to that 157, even lower maybe, that would be a great opportunity to get a nice blue chip. So, shout out, to anybody that still holds it. Han Solo says, join Plebs community, guys. It's well worth the investment. Not financial advice, guys. Any servers that I'm part of, Plebs or not, your boy still comes with heat. Okay, I mean, look, we've had some ups and downs, just like anybody else. I think everybody has been victim to this, but you can't take away what we've done. We've done a lot of really good things. We've done a lot of we've had a lot of great coins. Zora, we've had Syrup. AVAX did do a 2X. We've had a lot of great calls, man. We've had so many that I lost count. But, look, man, I think one thing that we kind of got to acknowledge is the profit taking. A lot of people have problems and issues taking profits, and that's just something that we got to work on. But I'm confident in you guys that, I think through all this that we've gone through together, I think everybody kind of understands now where we need to make the adjustments at, okay? All right, so next token is going to be Say. Say is one that has really been getting clobbered. So if you guys have been, remember, tuning in to me, we talked about these wicks down here. We talked about these wicks that whenever we came down here, that these bears or whoever, they were going to be trying to scoop up as much liquidity in here as they can. Now, I don't know if we're going to come all the way down here. I hope to God we don't. But at the end of the day, guys, we got to be on the defense. Now, Say came all the way down to 6 cents. Jesus Christ, that is bad, dude. Look, are we going to go that low? I hope not. But we have some liquidity down here at 16 cents. And we even have some more down here at 13.30. Now, these are going to be areas that I think that will defend nicely. I suggest that, guys, you put your buy orders in anywhere between right now and you start really swinging for the fences down here. Set up some stronger buy orders down here. Load up your bags. And remember, we are still looking for that 70 cents. Maybe even $1 by maybe the end of the year or next year. But jump. That's so far away. Guys, look how far we've dumped. The way we've dumped is the way we can pump. So don't get it twisted, man. Leverage brought us down, but leverage can bring us back up. Once things change, once everybody's out of the market, once everybody's been obliterated and everybody's runs out of money, the people that have money on the sidelines and the guys that stayed, with the nice cash, reserve, they're going to be the ones that prevail. So, make sure you have dry capital. Go have a garage sale or sell some Pokemon cards or do whatever you got to do, guys. Get money, get 2 jobs, Uber, do whatever, pick up shifts. Anything that you guys can do to generate extra income, now's the time to do it. If you're sitting here just watching crap on TikTok or bull crapping, you're taking away from an opportunity to seize prices that are at not all-time lows, but pretty good prices. Look, some of you guys were aping in, at 25 cents. Why wouldn't you do it at 19 cents? I'm not saying to ape in, by the way, but I'm just saying, the prices are at good areas of areas to pick up. So, like I said, remember, I'm not a financial advisor. I'm just some weird guy on YouTube with glasses that wears Ed Hardy shirts that, talks good. But, look, at the end of the day, it's risk. You got to risk it for the biscuit. If you want to make money this cycle, guys, you got to take the risk. And that's just the way it is. C-Dub, what's up, my dude? What's up, my G? Hope you're doing good, brother. I think, you know, happy birthday, by the way. You turned, what, 20? My boy C-Dub is killing it. Babe, give me a shout out, babe. I don't even see you in the chat. No. I told my wingman to show me some love in the chat. Guys, can y'all say what's up to Mrs. Plebs in the chat, please? Can y'all spam Mrs. Plebs in the building? Oh, what's up? Stocks for real. What's up, my bro? I finally got you in one of the lives, man. Shout out to my boy Raul, man. Check his channel out, Stocks for Real. Thank you for hopping in, brother. I'm just talking to these people in here, man. Keeping them stoic. You know, everybody's freaking out. And we just got to be some positive vibes, man. You know, that's what we do in the KGU, and that's what we do in my personal group, man. We lift each other up. We got to try to keep everybody, you know, 10 toes down. Especially right now, man. Everybody's thinking the cycle, you know, is going to be done. And, you know, like I said, it could be. But at the end of the day, we can make money in a bear market as well. All right, so let's check out Ethereum real quick. Mrs. Plebs is getting a lot of love in the chat. She's getting more love than me. Better back up off my woman, man. All right, check it out. So right now, look, dude, ETH looks really good. ETH looks really good. In my opinion, not financial advice, of course. Guys, I would really be loading up on Circle and Ethereum. Ethereum is looking really juicy. I got some pickup orders right down here. Right down here at 3,600. That's the area where I'm loading up at. And you guys know, I'm gonna give you guys some free game, okay? I'm gonna give y'all guys some free game. Right now, I'm looking for a 5,500 to 6,000 Ethereum. If we can get things good, if we can get back on top and get, you know, the market firing on all four cylinders, I think, you know, 6,500 ETH is definitely on the cards. Now, people are like, jump. But Discover Crypto said 10,000, or my favorite YouTuber said 16,000. Well, look, you know, we gotta lower the temperature down, okay? Right now, let's get past 5K first, and then we can entertain that. So it's right now, until we get past 5,500, that's where my line in the sand is. That's where I'm looking to get off the ETH train. You know, I love Vitalik Buterin, but at the end of the day, you know, I think that if we got this one last push up, if we haven't already got a strong all-time high with ETH, there's a high possibility that it probably has that one last Kamehameha push up, and that's going to be it. So, hey, you're more than welcome to hold. Let me know how that goes for you. But I'm just looking for 5,500, by the way. So, you know, I'm good. You guys want to hold the 7K? Be my guest. Set your buy orders up here at 3,600. Layer them down all the way down to the $3,400. Remember, they like to come sweep the liquidity on these wicks. Remember, where it wicks, it sticks. And they will come back for these little trapped souls down here. So, you know, look, we got to bounce up. That's good. But all it takes is one tweet. And we will come revisit this area. So, look, I want to stay up above 3,600. As long as we stay above there, we don't got to worry about 3,000 or 3,200, okay? All right, let's cover XRP. XRP is definitely a coin that everybody has been really bullish on. And I'm starting to get bullish on it now because I wasn't interested in buying at $3. I know a lot of people are like, jump, cover XRP, cover XRP. But look, guys, I'm not, you know, look, I'm the type of dude, I like to get things on a discount. When I go shopping or I'm trying to buy me a new fresh pair of J's, you know, your boy's looking for a deal. You know, I'm not trying to buy, you know, things at all-time highs. I'm not trying to find things on price discovery. You know, I'm trying to get it up at a deal. So a deal for me is going to be at this $2.08. The next deal after that's going to be $1.75. And then, you know, if we come back down here into this, you know, golden ratio in this area, we got about $1.40. Last line of defense is going to be that $1.08. Do I personally think that we can come back down here? I don't know. You know, why guess? Just be ready. You know, if you think that we're going to come down to $1, set some buy orders down there. You know, personally, you know, I think it's a good idea to ladder down, you know, but for me to actually start saying, hey, I'm going to really take some good positions, I want to see 225, 220. I'll start playing around with it. When we start getting down to this lower area, I'm going to really start lowering the bags on XRP. You know, what the crazy part was is that when we had this massive dip down, guys, we came all the way down to $1.26. Imagine. I think now what everybody can always think about now is like, it's always good to set some crazy limit orders at these crazy ridiculous prices now, especially with Trump. And this is the funny thing, guys. You know, there's going to be a bear market. It's going to happen. I believe it's going to be either 2026, you know, early part, or maybe even later towards the end. Think about it. They're going to want to win midterms. The Republicans are going to do whatever they got to do to pump the markets up, make everything look nice and sexy. Then the next thing you know, the rug gets pulled out. You know, we go into a small bear market. The economy does bad. And then, you know, we got the next election coming in. They start propping the market back up again. And then, you know, we resume the bull market. And then there we go. Or we can go into it now and Republicans lose the midterms. We go through, you know, 2026 bear market, you know, and then maybe that plays out like that. But I see it even more where when we get closer to midterms, I think that, you know, that's when the printers are going to be turned back on. We're going to have a Fed, you know, a Fed speaker that's going to be pro, you know, Trump, you know, doing everything that Trump wants him to do. And he's going to be kissing that ring, which I don't think is a good idea. But at the end of the day, guys, look, we're just here to make money. We got to move with the sharks, you know, all this other stuff, you know, you just got to kind of move how they move. And that's definitely a possibility. So at the end of the day, look, that's just something that, you know, that we have to be ready for. So I think option A would be where I'm going to go with. I think that, you know, right now, you know, maybe some deals are being done right now. Like, hey, you sign off on this, we'll sign off on that. You guys sign the stablecoin bill, we'll do some stuff with healthcare. I don't know, you know what I mean? So at the end of the day, you know, these are all possibilities. But back to crypto. XRP, I'm starting to get bullish again on it. Remember, I wasn't really feeling it up here. I know a lot of people didn't like that, but at the end of the day, guys, look, we got to, you know, we got to kind of go with market trends. We don't want to be bag holding. Remember all these people that were holding all up in here? They didn't make any money. We were in all these other different coins making money, and everybody was just bag holding the whole time. Now we're down here at somewhat pretty decent prices. You know, these are like you know, Marshall's prices, but we're trying to get that Burlington Coat Factory prices up in here. That's what we're talking about. We want to get that Burlington price. So, you know, that's what we're looking for. So until we get closer towards then, you know, that's what I'm looking at. Damn, we almost got 40 people in here. What's good, guys? What's good? Let's see. Let's check out Parcel real quick. Did you guys get to see my wife on camera? My wife is a fox. All right. So look, check this out. We wigged down here all the way to 3 cents. Did you buy? Did you buy? Probably not, did you? But you know what, guys? I was giving out alerts all up in here. I set out buy alerts all up in this area right here. Your boy Jump was shilling parcels up in here. And then what happened, guys? We came up 68%. So I don't know about you guys. Definitely a great move right there. And this is what I'm talking about, guys. When we are in the markets, and we are trying to make money, anytime that we get anything close to, 40, 50, 60, 70%, consider taking profits. This is something now that's going to be a new rule. If you guys get that kind of profits, take money off the table. Sorry, I got a burp. Anytime that we get to these levels, guys, where, you have to ask, hey, Jump, should I take some money off the table? Hey, Jump, what do you think? Take profits. Remember, you got to ask, take profits. This cycle's very, very hard, man. I'm not going to lie. I find myself at times even hitting up catching rockets, or one of my, my buddies, I'll ask, hey, man, what do you think about this? Sometimes I'll even ask my own group, which is kind of, it's not funny, but there's some people in there that I trust. And I was like, hey, what do you think about this? Because this is a different cycle. Different players, different, a whole different setup. So, I think people are just a little bit too, content with, with just getting 2X's, 3X's. Right now, guys, I'm just simply looking for 50%, even 40. So right now, guys, look, check this out. Why not buy parcels right now? I think at the worst, maybe we can come back down here to 4 cents flat, set heavy orders at 4 cents, take it back up. If you guys notice, like, parcels always gets these nice 40%, 30% pumps. Come on. Think about it. I set a buy alert in for it. 2 or 3 days later, there's spontaneous pumps. Remember, I don't think I have the ability to move markets, but we do have big communities, guys. And remember, people, they see the messages and the buys start accumulating up. And, like I said, 30%, 40%, that's good. You move in with some weight, guys, 30, 40% is just, a swing trader's fantasy, situation. So, look, man, at the end of the day, I know people are looking for these sexy 100%ers, but why? Get your money, get in and get out, and on to the next one. One coin that I can tell you that's doing really nice right now, guys, is Camino Finance. I've been checking it out, and I don't know if any of you guys still hold it, but don't sleep on this, man. I've been noticing that it's been holding really, really tough lately. And let me pull up the correct chart. 1 second. So we came down here, guys. Look, we were down here almost 6 cents, but we've been pretty much ranging up here. It's been showing a lot of strength. It came down, 5%. That's it. That's pretty good. Up 10%. So from, this, let's see. Yeah, we're not even down that much. So I would consider that, guys. Look, if you're looking for, even another coin to get back into, Camino's looking spicy too. We had a previous high up here, September, 10 cents. So let's just say if we get bullish again, that's 60%. Don't be fading these little small plays here and there, guys. Like people that are just looking for 100%ers, these guys are gonna get left in the dark, man. So set some areas right here up. We're gonna put 0.06447. We break below. Pull your little chart up down here, and we're gonna try to catch some lows over here at 6 cents flat. Stagger them up from where I told you all the way to 6 cents. We're gonna put Camino back on the radar. That would be another coin that I think we should get back into. Let's cover Sue real quick. Sue is another good coin that's close to our target. We had this pulled up. We covered this a while back, 243. We actually touched it earlier today, so I'm pretty sure that we'll revisit back. We can come back down here to 230, and for me to hop back in, maybe we'll come back around $2. So set your buy orders at Sui for $2. I know a lot of people hold CETUS. I still hold some. Guys, not financial advice. I think it's better, maybe a little bit better to be in these bluer chips for a moment, because these things might have more of the ability to get back up quicker than some of these higher risk tokens. You can probably swing it in here, get you a nice little 20%, then move it right back into, you know, Cetus, or you can go back into Bluefin and, you know, kind of swing trade between the ecosystems, okay? Another coin that I want to talk about real quick is Tau, man. A lot of people are moving back into Tau. Tau has been a little bit under the radar, but, you know, ever since they had that grayscale announcement, they're starting to get bullish again. Tau is another coin that we bought last year at $150. We took it all the way back up to 600 bucks. I usually don't like to move back into coins too much after I get out of them, but what we look for is what's happened during when we dumped, and Tau's been holding its own. So look, if you're trying to get back into Tau, set some buy orders up here, you know, a little bit more below 360 bucks. You could even layer it down to 350. But for right now, guys, look, if you're looking for an AI play, I've called out AOZ, a lot of other good AI coins, but let's just be real. You want to be in the leaders right now. The leaders are going to be like Co-AI. Co-AI has been really good. We've talked about that one as well. It's been like a 10x, but Tau is the one. So if you're looking for a blue chip, you know, AI coin that could probably do a 2 or 3x, Tau is going to be a perfect one for you. So, you know, look, maybe even 40 or 50%. So keep it on your watch list. If you guys are just looking for safe bets, Tau is going to be perfect. Another one is going to be Render. Render actually is at a better price point. You know, is it as good as Tau? Absolutely not. But look, you know, we were just at $3 not too long ago. This could be a nice 30 to 40% swing trade. And I mean, why not? $2.48 for Render. This is a normie coin on Coinbase. So like I said, if you're looking for some quick bucks, get into these coins like that. Get your nice little 20, 30%, rinse and repeat, just swing trade, get in and get out, get in and get out. Next coin I want to cover is ADA, Cardano. Somebody needs to call Charles up, man. Charles needs to come on with it. Charles, you need to do something. Look at that, man. Cardano has just been sent to prison. He's locked up with P. Diddy right now, man. You guys, show me some love in the chat, man. Got 30 likes. That's what's up. All right, so look, check this out. Cardano just came down here to 59 cents. Crazy, dude. I took a long right here, and I think I'm up pretty good. I'm up really good, actually. I'm probably up 50%. I caught this low right here, so I'll check it out in a minute. But yeah, look at this, man. Like, it's just crazy, dude. Straight from the pen. Said, thanks for what you do. Well, thank you for being here, my brother. C-Dub says, I need that money. C-Dub, my YouTube keeps kicking me and wouldn't let me link. All right, so anyways, look, man, Cardano's a little tricky. You know, we have two highs right here. We had a high back here in the beginning of the year in March. We got that $1.20, and then we got that $1. Okay. You know, look, if we can come creep back down here at 50 cents, maybe 55, this would be a nice 1x or 2x right there. Take it back to $1 and just get in and get out. You know, I don't know what Cardano's gonna do, man. It's kind of like AVAX right now, guys. It's been real crappy right now. But if you're looking for just a blue chip, dude, legacy coin, this is gonna be the one right here. So set them buy orders. You know, 60 cents. Layer them down to 55. You can throw some holy grails out there at 50 cents, okay? I do want to cover this coin real quick, guys. Ondo. Ondo is a coin that I have in my portfolio. I haven't really been keeping up with it, man. I'm down pretty nasty on it. I think I'm down like 20%. You know, look, I've said this 1,000 times, but when I get back up to this $1.10, $1.20, I'm probably going to just dump Ondo, man. I'm not happy with it. I've even considered, maybe rolling this in a chain link. I think RWA is just it's gonna be big, but there's just so much competition, man. So I don't know, maybe I'll roll this in a World Liberty Fi or something like that. We'll see what happens. But right now we got this triple bottom right here. So we got 1, 2, 3. Let's see if we can get this bounce up here. But the only thing is that we just got a lot of resistance, man. So we're gonna have a lot of trouble up here, back at these, at these previous highs. So we're gonna have trouble here. 80 cents, 96, $1.12, $1.31, and $1.65. Now it would be a straight up miracle if we can even get past $1.50. We'll see what's up. We're right here down, in very much oversold territory. So, Ondo's not looking good. So, eventually, like I said, I'm hoping that we can get this bounce up right here and still continue to make our rounds back up. If we can get back up to $1.20, man, I would be happy to get out at this level and maybe move into a more, better coin. All right, so let's cover World Liberty Fi real quick. Let's see. World Liberty Fi, look at that. Looks like it's trying to find its footing. It's consolidating right here. We got a lot of, momentum to the downside. Looks like we might have some, divergences right here. Hopefully to the upside. I've been loading up on here on World Liberty Fi around 11 to 12 cents. I'm going to probably take it back up here to 25 cents. We'll reassess it. We have 2 prior highs up here. I think it's fair, guys, look, that we can at least expect to get back up here to 23, maybe even 20 cents. So look, not financial advice, of course. Again, keep some buy orders up here at 11 cents, maybe even 10. Stagger them down. Remember what I said, the long wicks, put them where they stick. Take it back up. Look for your first sell orders back up here at 22 cents, 24, and maybe the final bits at 25. Get you a nice little 2x, get in and get out. Stephen Ortiz said, W jump. What's up, my dude? We had some stuff happening this morning, guys. We had some people taking some digs at Jumpman Crypto on X. I don't know if you guys saw that, man, but it's kind of hilarious. Yeah, I guess I'm starting to get popular now. People are starting to take digs at me, but we wish them nothing but luck and success, man. The world's too short, man, to be fighting on the internet, man. That's kind of lame. Plus, I only have 1,000 subs. It's kind of like bullying, dude. I don't even got a following, really. We're all about love and stuff here. All right, let's see. What do we got here? Let's check out AVAX, man. We got to cover AVAX. AVAX is pissing me off, man. All right, so we got... My boy P says they ain't worth the clout. No diggity, man. The only one that's worth the clout is Jesus Christ. That's it. At the end of the day, man, if it's not about money, if it's not about, building up self-worth, we're not trying to hear that. At the end of the day, man, haters come a dime a dozen. Sometimes people out there just, they just got stuff going on, man. And at the end of the day, like, all we got to do is be the bigger people and be the light. And, and that's what I tend to be, man. At the end of the day, guys, I was in a point in my life where, like, I was out there making trouble, doing bad stuff. And I still, from time to time, I fall short of the glory of God. And, I was talking with my wife, like, I want to get back into church. I've been falling really, really bad on my face with a lot of stuff, man. And I've just been realizing that I need God in my life. And I think maybe that's the reason why I haven't had the success that I've been really wanting, is because, I haven't been putting God first. And one thing that I can say about KGU, that I know Keenan Grace is a very religious man. And, the vibes in there are just great. And, You can't have nothing in this world without Jesus, man. And I know maybe some people may not be religious, and if, I don't mean to offend anybody, but, I just got to be 100 with everybody, man, that, God is everything, and at the end of the day, if you don't give him all the honor and glory, all this is for nothing. And I think that was my biggest problem, guys, is that, I wasn't giving God the glory. I wasn't giving God the credit that he deserves. This isn't me. I didn't do this. Like, I got 30 people watching me. I'm nobody, dude. I'm just a guy. God saved me. God delivered me. And God is a person that has been there for me through thick and thin. And, I just want to start walking in a different light. I don't want to be a person that is negative. I want to be a person that's giving good crypto advice, but at the same time, giving good living advice. And, if I'm out here fighting with people on X, and just being ridiculous, that's not somebody that I would want to follow. And at the end of the day, guys, I just want to help people. And, and that's just what I want to do. All right, so back to AVAX. AVAX said, that it just ain't hearing it. So AVAX is being stubborn. She decided that she wanted to go home. So look, our bear market low is going to be $8. Does Jumpman think that we're going down to $8? I don't think so. I think it's good to start setting some buy orders up between its previous low around Liberation Day from $15 down to 17. Load the boat, and let's see if we can rocket this thing back up here to 45 to $40. Once we accomplish these levels, guys, we set stop losses. If they trigger, we don't get back in until price starts showing that it wants to go back up. I think where we made some mistakes at, guys, stop losses trigger, and we keep going back into the asset because it starts pumping up, but we're not actually paying attention. We're not pulling up, volume profiles. We're not seeing that we're making lower lows. And this was like a classic coin that was showing that. We would go up to $36 and we came back down, went back up to 34, came back down, went back up 33, went back down, came back to 30. And all you see is just lower lows, lower lows, lower lows. And then here we are, back at $17, $18, and you're like, man, what happened? Well, you rode your bags down. So I think the best course of action, guys, is to make sure that once you hit your target or you got close to it, make the decision and get out. And do not get back into the coin until you have confirmation of a breakout. Until we actually start showing higher highs. You know what I mean? Because at the end of the day, guys, we're throwing money away and we can't do that. Stephen T said, facts. And then Patriot says, the good word jump. Jose Villanueva said, I asked God to help me with the stock and crypto market. Usually when my gut tells me to buy or sell, I listen. When I don't, it bites me. Hey, brother, let me tell you something, man. Like, that's the same thing I do too, man. Sometimes God sends certain messages to his people. I always believe that there's certain people that God has chosen in this world to have special gifts. I'm not saying their psychic abilities and stuff like that, but sometimes people can just feel things. And I feel like God always bestows these kind of gifts to people. And I used to be that type of person, like, whatever. But it's the truth. There's been things that I've been able to feel and detect. I literally was speaking with my wife about this whole Bitcoin dump. Sure enough, it happened. Maybe I was lucky, but at the end of the day, I just truly believe that there are people here that have amazing gifts. And, if you have, a gut feeling about something, whether it's crypto related or even just everyday life, always listen to your gut. Eddie Diaz says, amen, brother. Seek the kingdom of God and everything else will follow. For sure. Always, man. And, look, man, and also that, guys, I'm a baby Christian. I'm going to make mistakes along the way. That's part of growth. But at the end of the day, guys, like I said, this is a journey, and we're all taking it together. We're going to hold hands, and we're going to get through this. We're going to get through this market correction. If we do go through a bear market, we'll go through it together. some people are scared of bear markets, man. Honestly, dude, these are generational opportunities to buy. I think right now is even generational buy opportunities. Like I said, if we were buying AVAX at these prices, in 30s, you should be buying at 20. All right. P says, let's check out Link, Zcash, Caspa, and Litecoin. P, I know you ain't coming out here with no dang Caspa, bro. You better stop tripping with that, bro. Caspa is dead, bro. But we'll cover it for you, my G. Shout out to P. P is my moderator, and he is my crypto best friend. Good dude, man. Good guy. He's a really good dude, man. Matthew 6:33. I'll check that out, bro. I'll write that down. I'll look at that scripture tonight. We'll put it on the... Babe, write that scripture down. All right. We got the scripture written down. Stephen Ortiz. All right. So, Caspa is not doing good. But what coin is? Look, Caspa is, I don't know, dude. I recommend not buying it. Oop. That's from our previous live. So right now it's about where it's at. It's actually below its liberation price, so not good. When it had this flash wick down here, we went all the way back down to sub 9 cents. So I know this YouTuber that said that he bought Caspa at 0.009. So he basically picked up Caspa where he bought it at. That's how bad it went down, dude. That's crazy, dude. Typically, man, look, I can't find myself to buy it. I know there's going to be people that, that have it in their portfolios. Maybe this thing will come back alive. It's proof of work. In my opinion, it's already had its run. If you want to scoop it up, I think right now it's a great time to buy it, I guess. There's nothing else that I kind of really gauge it off of other than, in 2023, it was back, over here in these areas, which was, a long time ago in crypto land. So November, we're back at November's prices. So we've almost gone back 2 years in time. So just keep that in mind. I think the next levels would be about 4 cents and even 3 cents. The more exact prices would be 0.03868. And, honestly, dude, I would just stay away from this. Caspa Maxis would probably go in on me, but can't do it. Let's check out Litecoin. Litecoin is the real digital silver, dude. Piss off the Caspa Maxis, man. All right. Litecoin back at 90 bucks again. This is actually kind of a good buy right here. Shout out to Ben Cowan. Look, we're down what? 50%, dude. Jeez Louise, man. This is honestly, man, not financial advice. This is a good price. This is a real good price. Honestly, I may buy some Litecoin because I think this is a real juicy price. If we continue to go down here, we had a previous low at 84. This was back here in July. Liberation, we came all the way back down here to 77 bucks. And all right, we had our low back in here in April at 63 bucks. So if we hit that low, if this keeps going on with Trump and all that crap, dude, definitely keep that, at an area where we could probably get in. But for right now, I think maybe this 84 bucks between 76 bucks would seem more realistic to me. All right, let's see. Caspa. Okay, Chainlink. Chainlink is actually one that I've been loading up, guys. I bought some more at 16 bucks. I did say, guys, look, I'm not really trying to buy too much, but I lied. I have this right here, 1613. We actually had our previous bounce right here at this area. Check this out. This is a good area to be accumulating at right here at this 1613 area. We keep going down more. I think we have a little bit of liquidity down here at 1485. Stuff gets really, really bad. 11 bucks. Could we go down there? You bet your bottom britches we will. You know, we came back up here to 28 bucks. So at the end of the day, look, we come back here to 12, 13, 14, scoop up, get that last push up, guys. We come back down here, maybe 15, load up, get out around 27, 28, 30 bucks, get you a nice little 80% to 100% return. AJB said, I picked up some Litecoin this morning. Gee. Pool City P is the plebs macroeconomic analyst expert. Yes, he is, man. P's a G, man. Look, this dude is just like, he's like my little handheld chat GBT macro dude, man. The dude's just, he's something else. He's special. I tell him this all the time. You know, P's just, he's a good dude, man. Very lucky to have him in my server, man. Honestly, if we didn't have him in plebs, plebs would not be plebs. P is plebs. He's the backbone of plebs. And so is Cyrax and Tequila. You know, all my buddies, man. These three dudes, you know, they keep the foundation of plebs together. You know, actually, me and Tequila are the ones that started plebs. You know, P and Cyrax, you know, they're these two guys, you know, they've been like the glue. All right. So I saw somebody talk about Zora, the Manflora. That's, you know, the little nickname that we have for this cryptocurrency. And I just want to take this time to also talk about, you know, everybody talks about Zora, guys. You got to remember who called it first. We were talking about this coin first, man. We called it all the way back down over here, man. Now, all of a sudden, everybody's talking about it. So this is the area where we like to buy it at right here in this golden ratio. When we hit back into this level right here around 7 cents, that's the area to load up. We come back down here to 5 cents. Not financial advice, of course. This is where you better be loading the boats. I don't know how much more the narrative of Zora can go, but, you know, look, it's got that Robinhood listing, a lot of open interest on it, so it's definitely really been ranging pretty good. And actually, if you really think about it, dude, check this out. Like, it's in its range. So it looks pretty good to me. But, you know, like I said, right now, I've just been chilling. You know, I typically don't like to move back into coins that I got out of. But, guys, please, guys, if you get these runs back up, guys, to 11, 10 cents, 12, 13, get out, take some profits, man. Don't ride your stuff back down. Okay, if we come back down here to 6 cents, it pains me to see that. So, guys, just make sure you guys are taking care of your investments, okay? Rusty Cage says, speaking of tequila. So, let's see. Let's check out Zora real quick. I would probably load up in those areas, like I said, you know, in this area. But, you know, I would probably put a stop loss too, man. Maybe around pretty close, around, you know, 9 cents. Just in case we do flip bearish. But you can't take it away from Zora, man. This thing has been really holding strong from just all the bearishness, man. This is crazy. Remember back then, I remember somebody messaged me in the KGU. It was like 4 cents. I was getting so many messages about Zora, man. And now look at it. Beautiful. How long have we been going live for? My voice is getting kind of dry here. All right, let's see. Let's cover H-bar. I know we don't talk about H-bar too much. Let's check out H-bar. I think it might be time. Ooh, yeah. Yeah. It's almost that time, guys. Honestly, look, not financial advice. I think it would be better to buy cash. I just covered XRP. You want to, pretty much I'll give you some quick levels on it real quick. 175, 225 would be the range where I'm looking to get in. My opinion, there's better plays, maybe H-bar. H-bar actually looks really good in my opinion. We can come back down here, this 30 cents, get you a nice little quick 2X, maybe even closer to 25 cents. I think this might, be 40, 50%? Yeah, 50%. So in my opinion, I would probably choose H-bar over XRP for right now, because we got those ETFs coming out. Set your buy orders at its previous low at 15,553. If we continue to go bearish, set some around 13 to 12 cents, 12.5. Stagger those orders in there. Parcel's coming back up. I hope so, man. I just bought some bags. I've been buying back a little bit, guys. Not too hard. I want to keep, nice and slow, man, because the rug can come out, guys, and I ain't trying to lose my money. LG 420 says Parcel's low-key my favorite coin right now. I'm telling you, dude, that's like the endless liquidity, bro, because you can just swing it. You can swing it back and forth, man, and get those, nice little 30%. And, it's just a good coin. All right. Let's cover Aster real quick. Aster is another good coin. Look, check it out. Aster, I would be probably trying to load up around here at $1.05. Take it back up to maybe close to its maybe $1.75, $1.80. I'm not really looking for all-time highs, guys. Again, remember, we're just looking for 40, 50% pumps. That's it. This actually would be 60%. So let the normies hold on to their 100%. We just want to get the nice 40, 50% returns, guys. Jose said, my parcels average is at 6.8. You're a G, my dude. You're a G. All right, guys. I'm going to close down the stream. My voice is getting raspy. Been on here for about an hour and a half. And, I enjoy coming on here talking with you guys. So please, in the KGU or anybody, if you see anybody that's asking for coins or needs some help with stuff like that, share the video with these guys. Share it on your Facebooks. Share it with your family and friends. Help me get monetized. I'm like literally this close. I'm this close. And once we get monetized, guys, we can start doing super chats and stuff like that. We can do giveaways and a lot of really cool stuff. Guys, we have links below to BenUX, PHEMEX. They're partners with the channel. I really wasn't pushing them too much, guys. I don't want anybody to ever feel like I'm pushing leverage on anybody. Look, guys, you guys are more than welcome to do things on your own will. Full disclosure, I do get commissions from these guys, but please, it's at no cost to anybody. And I just want everybody to always remember, I always emphasize safe leverage. No 10x, no 100x leverage, guys. We always love to practice and preach safe risk management here on this channel. So please don't put me in the camp with these guys that are out here trying to, get you guys hurt out here. I try to make sure everybody's legit, but risk management is your job, okay? So at the end of the day, guys, thank you so much for watching my video. I've been having a little bit of haters up in here, so look, man, I need you guys to like it. And, like I said, make sure that you guys take care of yourselves. It's good to make money, but take care of yourself physically, spiritually, and make sure you guys are good up here. Make sure you get your rest. Sometimes it's good to touch some grass. If the markets ain't doing much, go spend some time with family. Set your buy orders up that we put in here in the chat, and leave the rest up, to the man upstairs and just, the markets themselves. We got to let the markets do what they got to do, guys. At the end of the day, I don't have any power over this. and neither do you. You know, it's like you either believe in crypto or you don't. And at the end of the day, if you're here just to make a short buck, you know, you're gonna kind of put yourself in some danger here. If you truly believe in crypto and you think that, you know, we're gonna hit some new all-time highs, and you think that, you know, that this market's gonna be, you know, the next big thing, then just relax. But at any time you feel like your mental health's not good, guys, and you have too much money in this market, guys, I always recommend you guys, please de-risk. You know, all BS aside, nobody's going to make fun of you. Nobody's going to say, oh man, this guy's a chicken. Look, you got to do what's best for you. At the end of the day, all these YouTubers and all these crypto gurus and stuff like that, guys, look, these guys, most of these guys are all clowns. Okay? You got to make the decision for yourself. Nobody can tell you when to buy, hold, or sell. That's all on you. The ball's in your court, but just make sure you guys are prepared. You watch the right people. You stay around the right crowds. Stay in groups that are lifting you up. We always lift our members up every day. We're constantly always having VCs. We have people that are, you know, in the chats throwing out scriptures or just giving out, you know, good advice. You know, and that's one thing that I can always say, guys, that we are always constantly trying to feed each other and lift each other up. And when we kind of mess up, we got people that keep us in check. And we do that even in the KGU as well, guys. It's just a great space. You know, Keenan's a great leader. I got nothing but respect for him and the Crown Traders in there. Rel, Lisa, Trudy, Market Hawk, Alpha. There's so many in there now, man. You know, a lot of these guys, they have their own little thing that they do, and they're all good at it. But me, I just focus on crypto, man. You know, I'm pretty good at stocks, but, you know, at the end of the day, guys, I just do what I got to do, and that's it. All right, guys, show me some love. Comment in here. Spam my videos. You guys stay blessed.